For me to accept my body with a stoma, it was a process. It took me time and support. And what that looked like was before I had my ostomy surgery, I looked online and I saw people who had ostomies living their lives. And I thought, if they are doing that, then I can do it.
Accepting my body with a stoma was definitely the most challenging in the first few months because it was such a sudden and dramatic change. And I was 21 at the time and deeply involved with my athletic career and in college. And, I don't think that there's ever a good time to adjust to having an ostomy. It's going to be hard no matter what. But my process and what really helped me the best was kind of diving headfirst into it, accepting that it was a scary thing, but not letting that stop me from doing all the things that made me feel like me.
So accepting my body, especially being a fashion model, it was scary. It was very, very scary because I was getting used to my body and what I can do and what I couldn't do. And come to find out I can do anything that I wanted. But you're talking about going into modeling. You're talking about wearing this type of outfit or that type of outfit. And I'm so scared that you'll be able to see my ostomies. And so that was scary enough right there.
Learning to accept my body with a stoma was a bit of a roller coaster because I still remember the first time that I was really alone after surgery. I had had medical professionals and family around me and all this stuff. And the first time I was really alone in a bathroom after going through everything, and I remember just standing there staring at myself, then staring at my stoma, I just started to cry like a baby. Just like, what am I going through right now?
Prior to this, I did fitness competitions and I was always in a bathing suit and I really, really cared what I looked like. It was because I just Googled it and I didn't want what I saw on Google to be who I was because I thought I was going to be ugly. I thought it was going to smell. I thought it was all the things that we think is the worst case scenario was going to happen to me.
It was very hard to, feel confident and beautiful and just normal with an ostomy. It took me a long time of 15 years to come to, fully accepting, but I think, every ostomate out there can do it as well. You just, take it at your own pace, do your own steps. There's no right or wrong way or, right timeline to accept your body. But definitely, from my experience, I would say, lean on the support of the community and the support of companies like Hollister.
The advice I would give to somebody who is new to living with an ostomy would just to be, willing to confront the kind of fear or the natural and expected anxieties that can come with it, because it is an acknowledgement of a big change in your life. But knowing that through the experience of other people who have walked similar paths, that there is a way to make it all manageable and that over time things will get a lot better. And to really seek out those resources. And the more you are able to learn about your appliance setup and how to be prepared for any inevitable situation that comes with having an ostomy, the easier everything is going to become.
I learned in a very fast way that I needed to accept my body. And it was almost like I knew in that moment I had no choice. I had no choice. Either I was going to accept me for who I was and love me for who I was, not worry about what other people think or other people loving me, but me loving me in that moment. And if I didn't, my life was going to go in a whole different direction. And I didn't want that other direction because it would have been in the negative. So I knew in that moment I need to accept who I am and I need to love me for me. And so from that moment, I just really focused on taking care of myself.
If you're trying to date, the earlier you tell someone, the better, because the only awkward experiences that I've ever had are because someone didn't know about it. And with dating, no one cares if I tell them about it before. I've only been rejected that I know of, I've only been rejected because of my ostomy, like in the dating world, one time. Every other time that I've actually like dated someone for a while, it hasn't been an issue.
The first time that I was, trying to have these discussions and trying to talk about, ostomy life and what is an ostomy and, how I'm living my life now to friends or partners, it was very difficult and challenging for myself to just find the right words to describe it and kind of just acknowledging certain areas that I, felt maybe there was going to be concerns in terms of, hygiene or, if it was a partner, what intimacy was going to look like, and kind of just felt like I wanted to bring up those topics to acknowledge them before, they were left with questions or concerns.
Prior to my surgery, I was already in a relationship with my now wife, and I had started dating her while I was in college, and I think almost around the exact time that I got the initial diagnosis of ulcerative colitis. Our first few dates, I didn't even really share it with her because I didn't know it wasn't that serious yet. I didn't know really anything about the illness, and so it was just not something that I felt like needed to be shared right away. I was told that I was going to have a stoma put in place. My health had taken such a dive, and I was so miserable that I think both of us were just like ready to like get it done. But even with that being the case, there's still, is this person going to think differently of me? And, how is this going to affect our lives? And, I had all of those fears, and at some point even like asked, like, hey, I feel like if you want an out, like you should take it because I don't know what's going to happen to me. And she was just basically like, shut up. That's not like, be quiet. I've been here for this whole thing, like not really your decision to make alone. So yeah, I was incredibly fortunate, and she's been insanely supportive.
And I think just being open and confident about having an ostomy, it completely shapes the opinions people have and how they treat you, because if it's no big deal to you, and if you're very confident about having an ostomy and you embrace it, so does everyone around you.
For somebody who's new to having an ostomy, or maybe just about to have one, or considering putting one in place and having the, very valid concerns about what the intimate life afterwards will be, either with a current partner or a future prospect for partners, I would say that it's something important to keep in mind is that I want to say it's like a Dr. Seuss quote or something. It's like, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind.
My biggest fear when it came to intimacy and relationships was just the feeling of knowing, like, is my partner, going to be still attracted to me? Are they, on an intimate and a sexual level, are they still, going to look at me as beautiful, pretty, sexy, whatever you want to call it? I always thought, the bag was going to define, my level of beauty, my level of attraction, my capability to, perform in these sexual activities. And it really wasn't any of that.
What I discovered was fear's normal. Just like sadness, just like anger and joy. It's an emotion, right? It goes and it comes. But when you're talking about intimacy and dating, this is just on another level. Fear's just on another level.
I think the only fear I had around being intimate with my husband was it leaking or exploding. I think that's probably anyone's fear with an ostomy. And also that never happened. It hasn't happened in 8 years, and hopefully it will not happen in the future.
It's really just a matter of, opening up that discussion with your partner, talking about it, and, letting them know that, everything is possible, making sure that, they make you feel comfortable in those situations. Of course, starting slow, don't, jump into every single thing right away and every position and all of that. You can go slowly and, experiment as you feel comfortable. But, everything is possible, and the bag will not define you, nor will it determine your capabilities when it comes to intimacy and relationships.
If you feel like you're gross, you're unattractive, that no one will want you, that is not true. It's not true. That's just our fear talking.
I think both of us were so afraid. One, he didn't want to hurt me. And it took a little bit for both of us to say, listen, intimacy is important. So we have the discussion. How? Let me go in the bathroom and change my bag. Let me have that flat bag. Let me put it in what we call sports mode, fold it over. Let me put something on that makes me feel sexy and comfortable. And let's try for the first time.
Was I scared of rejection? Was I scared of not being accepted, especially when you're talking about intimacy? And so to me, intimacy with an ostomy, communication, for me, is key, right? If you're comfortable with yourself and your ostomy life, then I'm more comfortable talking about it, to my partner. And so, listen, you might go on that first date, it might not work out, right? And so I rather just kind of go on a few dates and just see how the communication is with the partner. And then I'm more comfortable to talk about it.
It is an amazing feeling when you are being intimate to not hide the bag, to not even think about it, to not have your partner think about it. But at the beginning, that fear can be overwhelming and it can shut you down. And you think, I'll never enjoy this part of my life again. Don't let that shut you down. Find new ways to be intimate. You have to find new workarounds. Find new ways to feel comfortable about the intimacy. Spend more time prepping up to the moment so that your nerves aren't so high.
If somebody is going to be put off that much by potentially life-saving surgery, then it wasn't meant to be. And it's an opportunity to find the situation that is meant to be. And I think that most people are empathetic or sympathetic enough, especially with such life-changing or saving procedures, that that really shouldn't or doesn't have to be a deterrent to a happy and successful romantic relationship.
Because you're starting all over and you're starting fresh, but you're starting from a place where you can understand, again, I'm going to go let myself feel beautiful, feel sexy in something that I love and appreciate. And then we can put that together. And your partner is so important. Your partner's going to understand that. They love you. They don't, as people say, they don't care. They love who you are in here.
My suggestion for someone new with an ostomy and you're considering being intimate, I would suggest to find a partner that loves you for you, that loves you with your bag, that loves you when you have leaks, and someone that loves you for you.
I love going on social media now and seeing these young, beautiful women pregnant with their ostomies and having their children and having their babies and living their lives. It brings something to you because you can have all those things. Having children, if that's what you want, go for everything that you can.